Um, so I want to move on real quick now that we've talked
Uh-huh.
video game collecting. I want to talk about the state of Amiibo. And
Ah,
this is
okay.
something, obviously, as Amiibo Jason, I think about constantly. Too much
Mm-hmm.
for the average man. I think about Amiibo 10 times a day. Um,
Only 10?
yeah, only 10. It used to be
Mm.
more. It used to be more.
Right
But
on.
there's certain things that I'm really curious to kind of get your thoughts on too.
Sure.
I just played through the Yoshi's Crafted World demo.
Mm-hmm.
So that got me thinking about amiibo support. It got me thinking about when Yoshi's Woolly World came out and
Mm-hmm.
all of these beautiful yarn amiibo came out too.
Right.
But Yoshi's Woolly World had this emphasis on amiibo. Every amiibo figure almost did something in that game. It unlocked a
Mm-hmm.
costume. It came out with three amazing like woolly amiibo. Later on, Mega Yarn Yoshi came out. After that, we got the Poochie amiibo when the game was ported to the 3DS. I
One of
mean,
the best amiibo.
that game was in the amiibo like phenomenon stage when that game first came
Right.
out. People were going nuts for amiibo at that point. And Yoshi's Crafted World, I feel like it's kind of an afterthought. Not many amiibo
Mm.
are supported. It's not the same way. There's no dedicated amiibo coming out for it. No new yarn amiibo. No like felted Yoshi amiibo. And
Okay, yeah.
it got me thinking like where are we with the state of amiibo? Obviously the Super
Mm.
Smash Brothers amiibo are still coming. And
Right.
part of me feels like that's the swan song for amiibo. And it kills me to a certain degree because
Mm-hmm.
most games I've played recently with amiibo support have been bad. Like the amiibo either
Mm.
unlocks something that's really generic or something you could have unlocked before, and the amiibo is just kind of there. The
That's
Loot Goblin
true.
amiibo being the exception that unlocked something really cool. But besides that, like the Praise the Sun like
Mm.
emote that you get with
Right.
the Dark Souls amiibo, I mean, you could get that in the game without the amiibo. It's a really minor thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like amiibo support is becoming just more and more scarce. And it kind of scares
Yeah.
me. I think the last big game to come out that supported amiibo in a way that was meaningful was Breath of the
Mm-hmm.
Wild. Like all
Yeah,
of that
that feels
amazing
right.
amiibo support, the costumes, like the loot boxes that you got. I mean, that was really
Mm-hmm.
cool stuff. But besides that,
Right.
I just feel like it's kind of waning. And I hope Nintendo has something in store for us.
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe something more dedicated. But I'm curious to see your thoughts on this too.
Sure, because there's definitely some examples I can point at with like direct comparisons. A little bit ago, I was playing the Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside
Yeah.
Story for 3DS. Compared to Superstar Saga, the remake for 3DS, even there, the amiibo support is pulled back really hard. They just kind of like stripped it away almost.
Yeah.
It used to be like, oh, you would get like I don't know, man. It's like that's a progression. Even go further back to what was that? I think Paper Jam,
Yeah.
the Paper Mario crossover one that had some minor amiibo support. So it's almost like a bell curve there, like a rise and fall type situation. But even past that, like the Kirby games have stripped it away. I feel
Yeah.
like it's we're definitely going to see the Smash line finish up because I don't think they would ever not
Oh,
make
for
these
sure.
because they're going to sell. Like we will get a Joker amiibo. I have to have a Joker amiibo at this point.
Yeah, you do.
Um, but it's going to be really telling with so many of the games that are going to be coming out this year, or at least supposedly this year, in certain cases, are they have previous entries that leaned harder on amiibo.
Yeah.
The Fire Emblem Echo Shadows of Valentia had two dedicated amiibo come out with it, and while the functionality wasn't too groundbreaking, it was still like, wow, North America is getting Fire Emblem collectibles. That's really weird.
Yeah.
And we could maybe see that with Three Houses, but I don't know if we will at this point because we've already seen like a special edition. So that round of pre-orders is done.
Yeah.
So I really don't think that that's going to happen. Animal Crossing is a game we're expecting, and truth be told, I don't know what to expect for any amiibo support there.
I mean,
Like if
I'd
the
love to
exist
see what they did with New Leaf
the
and make it so you
cards,
take the card, you can have
yeah,
any character you want in the game.
the
But I feel
cards are
like
one thing.
the cards are done though. I mean, the cards
Yeah.
aren't in stores anymore. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, maybe Five Below sells the cards at
Oh,
this point. But I mean, besides that, I mean, I don't see Nintendo re-releasing those cards anytime soon. But maybe I'm wrong.
re-releasing, no. I mean, and I don't even expect like, oh, new villagers means new packs. I would like to see the cards still work, but I'm talking like figures. I don't think
Yeah,
we're ever going to see new Animal Crossing figures because you could get what the Isabelle and Digby with Amiibo Festival for like how much? Like a
yeah,
couple bucks. Um, but past that, it just feels like we'll probably see. I hope really good content for it for Mario Maker, like all of the pixel costumes. I
yeah.
want to see those come back.
That makes the most sense.
Right. I feel like that'll be fun because that and Woolly World, like you were just saying, like Woolly World made me open a bunch of amiibo that I hadn't opened at that point
Yeah.
because it's like, oh, I gotta have this Yoshi
Oh, for
costume,
sure.
and
Yeah.
this is what these are for. So I went ahead and did that, and I would love to have another spree of that, but we'll see. It does feel like they're on a downturn though, which is sad, especially when there was that stretch where we were getting weird ones like QB we've
Yeah.
talked about. I don't think we're going to see a QB one come out alongside like this new Box Boy game that's coming out. It's the figures themselves are popular, but it seems like functionality has died down
Yeah.
because they hit a creative wall. I do agree Breath of the Wild was really good, but that was also a game that was made originally for Wii U back when Amiibo were still kind of at the forefront.
Yeah.
Because compare it even with Mario Odyssey, which came out the same year, a few months apart, probably in development a lot of the same time. Odyssey's Amiibo support, while not terrible, also wasn't great.
Yeah. I mean, everything
So,
that you could get with the amiibo, you could get outside of the
mhm,
amiibo to a certain degree as
right.
well. But I mean, obviously, Disney Infinity's dead. Skylanders
Mhm.
is mostly dead.
Lego
Lego
Dimensions.
Dimensions is dead. I mean, amiibo are kind of holding the Toys to Life fort up at the
I don't
moment.
know. You got to look out for Starlink.
Yeah, if you want to call that Toys to Life, I guess. I mean, it is for sure.
Right.
But I think we got what 11 new amiibo last year. I mean, it was a really, really small number. And this year is
Right.
going to be different yet again because the Smash amiibo are coming out. But do we have any confirmation? Is there any additional amiibo coming out that have been well, the Shovel Knight 3-pack? So that's
Yes.
coming out too. Supposedly a gold Shovel Knight amiibo, which Play
Hmm.
Asia and a few other sites leaked.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
that might come to maybe. But besides that, I don't think Nintendo has confirmed any additional amiibo coming out anytime soon.
That
Besides the
sounds
Smash
right.
ones.
Yeah, other than the Smash line, I can't pick off the top of my head any that are confirmed to be coming out.
It bums me out.
Um,
It really, really
yeah.
bums me out. Um, it's hard to, especially with how this site started. I mean, Nintendo
Hmm.
Wire was Amiibo News. I mean, we became very popular, then we migrated into something bigger. My name's Amiibo Jason, for God's sake. So, I mean, it's hard to think that we might be nearing the end of this journey with Amiibo.
Mm,
But I still hold out hope for Nintendo because
right.
Nintendo did one thing that Disney didn't do, that Activision didn't do with Skylanders, that Lego didn't do, and that is make Amiibo so robust they could work with many, many games. There's no portal you need to buy, there's no special thing you need. I mean, every Nintendo system, the 3DS and the Switch and the Wii U, has the hardware built in to use these things. So
Hmm.
Nintendo doesn't really have to put a lot of effort into keeping these things alive. And I think all we need is one good developer to come out and say, this is what I'm going to do with Amiibo and rejuvenate the series. I mean, obviously Smash does that right now. But once that
Hmm.
series is done, I think Nintendo could do something. I don't see them like retiring the line entirely. We need
Hmm.
something soon. We really do.
Especially like what you said, it's integrated into the current and previous hardware.
Yeah.
it would be really strange for it to be like, okay, halfway through the Switch's life, Amiibo is just gone.
Yeah.
I feel like at least for this generation, it's going to be safe, but we're looking probably at more one or two figure releases versus kind of like what Breath of the Wild had, which was a lineup of, well, now that I think about it, okay, no, there was a line of Breath of the Wild amiibo, but a big part of it was also the Zelda anniversary ones
Yeah.
that came out as kind of like a half member of that line, and then we got the champions later.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of an outlier, but a really good one.
I mean, Mario
what would
Odyssey gave us the 3-pack, which was great. I mean, the
Yeah.
Wedding Peach was amazing. I mean, we
Mhm.
used those at, my wedding and Happily Candy's wedding. I mean, it
Yeah.
was exciting to get those. So Nintendo has the opportunity to do cool stuff. I really hope they do. But I've also accepted the fact that we could be nearing the end. And it was a fun ride if it does, in fact, end at some point this year, maybe next year. But I'm holding out hope that Nintendo has something for us. Not necessarily like a sandbox game, but just something to rejuvenate the series. Maybe it's Animal Crossing. Maybe it's the new Zelda. I mean, who knows? Link's Awakening amiibo, I would go insane for.